Hey, what's up everyone? This video is going to be regarding the blood red waters, or what they have termed the red tide. They blame this on algae, but I still don't know if I buy that particular explanation 100%. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's prophetic as well. But I just wanted to show you the latest images coming out of Florida. Now, I don't know whether this is a recent picture or one that they've used from the past and they're posting it as the background for this article, but regardless, this is one of the images supposedly out of Florida. So Florida's been dealing with as well as the Gulf of Mexico. So from the Gulf of Mexico to Florida, they've been dealing with blood red waters, and they said it's causing people to get rashes, causing them to get a sore throat, cough, get sick, and they've been having to evacuate the beaches and tourist areas. So, basically this has been happening quite a bit since September 7th, 2011, when the Yangtze River turned blood red. So, this has been happening quite a bit since then. So I'm going to read the article to you in a moment after I read the title. And the river will run red with blood. Seems pretty biblical to me, this particular article says, under the hashtags Red Tide, Florida, and Danger. Okay, so a red tide outbreak that is, for the first time in decades, is plaguing both the Gulf and the Atlantic coasts at the same exact time. While the Gulf Coast has suffered the brunt of the toxic algae outbreak, as they call it, all summer long, it only just showed up this week on the Atlantic beaches of South Florida. A red tide outbreak is now for the first time taking place in both places at the same time. This is the image source, Pixabay and MGN. That's where this image above is courtesy of. Many of Florida's famous beaches were empty Thursday because of the red tide outbreak that, for the first time in tens of years, is plaguing both the Gulf and Atlantic coasts at once. While the Gulf Coast may have suffered the brunt of the toxic algae outbreak, that it's only showed up this week on the Atlantic coasts and Gulf Coast at the same time in the Atlantic beaches of South Florida. Miami-Dade County actually closed several of their beaches. Early on Thursday, they said that the growth crisis prompted Governor Rick Scott to announce $3 million in state assistance for 5 counties in the region. You can also see the video on CBS News on this article. Miami-Dade County closed several of their beaches. People come to the beaches and they said they don't want to get exposed to that red tide and sewage spills or whatnot. So yeah, they said they think they can be in big trouble. I think we could be in trouble because that's what they're mainly worried about, the tourist areas. Usually that's all they care about. But they said it's time to purify your water, or to buy a Zip countertop reverse osmosis water filter, because the water is not safe to drink. State officials say a red tide bloom that began to fall now stretches along roughly 135 miles of Florida's southwest coast, affecting businesses, tourism, and vacations. The ocean is big business out there, obviously, and he said it's time to go on the unemployment line because of all of this. Along the Gulf Coast, they've been dealing with this quite a bit, and a first kind of air quality forecast to keep residents and visitors safe. There has been an air quality alert. The highest concentration of algae in the area is shown right up at the top of the screen. They said that Okaloosa counties had the lower concentrations of this algae. So I think it's time to purify your water and buy Zip countertop reverse osmosis water filters, because the algae, they said the amounts are extremely high, and you just need to try to stay safe during red tide. So the water is definitely blood red, and it's affecting the people in the area. You can check out the video. I'll leave a link to it. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link for you now, and I'll post it below to this CBS News video. I might post the video and put squigglies across it so I don't get any copyright just in case. So that's all for this video. Stay as I can't tell if the tablets work. Red tide's been going on for a good while now, and it's been happening for quite some time. I remember, like I stated, the first time it happened was, well, the first time that the blood red waters happened on a common scale was September 7th, 2011, so 7/7/11. They said they'd rather be safe than sorry. Purify your water and try to stay as safe as possible. So that's the latest news regarding the red tide and the blood red waters in Florida and the Gulf Coast. So peace and much love. Bye. I think my tablet's responding again, so I'm going to try to turn it off.